Hey, what's up, my wolf pack? It's Wolfmaster. Today I'm coming at you with another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. Today I'm going to be showing you my Kagerō deck, which I call Blades Inferno, because my main card is Dragonic Blade Master. And yeah, let's get into this. A bit of a change. Today I'm showing this deck profile on my new mat that I got at the sneak preview for Sovereign Star Dragon, coming out July 10th. Can't wait for that set. But yeah, before I get into this deck, let me show you guys some alternatives you could run in the deck, like Wyvern Kid Ragla. His ability is Generation Break 1, and you can put him into the soul by counterblasting 1, and then you could choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or less rear guards to retire. And the other alternative you could also run is the Seal Dragon Draw Trigger, which is put him from the rear guard into the soul and choose one of your units, and it gets an extra 3,000 power. Yeah, that's some alternatives you could run, but yeah, let's get into the deck. For my starter, I use Red Pulse Draco Kid. His ability is Counterblast 1, put him into the soul, and then you look at the top 5 cards of your deck for grade 3, and if there is one, you can add that to your hand. So it's pretty useful. It helps me out if I need to stride later on. It helps me set up for next turn, let's put it that way. Alright, next up, for Blu-ray Draco Kid, Critical Trigger. For Magnum Shot Draco Kid, which is another critical trigger. I still run the 8 crit build, but yeah, like when this set comes out, I do plan to take this guy out for the new Dragon Knight critical trigger that only works with Blade Master. It's basically like Heart Thump Worker from Gear Chronicle. Yeah, and then after that, 4 Stand Trigger, which is Lizard Soldier Vera. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm screwing that up. But yeah, his ability is Generation Break 1, and if he's in the rear guard, then when your opponent's rear guard is sent to the drop zone due to an effect by one of your cards, you can choose one of your cards, and that unit gets an extra 10,000 power until the end of turn, and then you shuffle this card back into your deck, and this ability can't be used for the rest of the turn, but that is pretty useful. It's really useful. And finally, for heal triggers, which is for Mother Orb Dragon. Alright, next up is my grade 1s. First up, 4 Protect Orb Dragon. This is the perfect guard that can only protect your Vanguard. And if you have another copy in the drop zone when you guard with this, then you can choose a card in your damage zone and flip it face up. Next up, 4 copies of Lava Flow Dragon. His ability is when he's called to the rear guard, you choose a grade 3 from your hand, reveal it to your opponent, and then you search your deck for a grade 3 that has Dragonic Blade Master in its name, reveal it to your opponent, add it to your hand, and then you choose a card from your hand to discard, and his other ability is that he counts as a grade 3 when striding. Alright, next up, 4 Energy Flame Athonic. I think that's how it's pronounced. Again, I'm sorry about these card names. But yeah, his ability is that when your opponent's rear guard is put into the drop zone due to an effect by one of your cards, you can send him into the soul, and if you do, you can choose up to 2 cards from your damage zone and flip them face up. And finally, for my grade 1s is 2 Dragon Monk Gyoko. I run this card for power reasons. His ability is Generation Break 1, and when your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone due to the effect of one of your cards, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So this can really become a beast if you play it right. Alright, next up are my grade 2s. 4 copies of Twilight Arrow Dragon. His ability is Generation Break 1. And then when he attacks an opponent's Vanguard and he's boosted, you can counterblast 1 and then choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards and retire it. Then after that, 4 copies of Dragon Knight Jabad. That's how I pronounce it. Like, I gotta look into some other grade 2s for this deck, to be honest. Yeah, but his ability is Generation Break 1, and when he attacks an opponent's Vanguard, he gets plus 3,000 power until the end of that battle. And then finally for the grade 2s is 3 Dragon Knight Tanas. His ability, he's basically a grade 2 version of Gyoko. Generation Break 1, when an opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone by an effect of one of your cards, gets an extra plus 5,000. If you combine him with Gyoko, that could be one powerful attack. Alright, now are my grade 3s of the deck. Hang on, let me move some stuff around. Here we go. First, 4 copies of Double Perish Dragon. This card's first ability is Generation Break 1. You can counterblast 2 and choose one of your opponent's rearguards to retire. And his other ability is that when he's placed onto the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 and choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or less rearguards to retire. Sorry, my thumb is over the camera. Give me a second. Alright. Next up, 4 Dragonic Blade Master. One of them is SP. Pulled that one from a pack, thankfully. Hang on, my cameras. Alright, here we go. His first ability, Generation Break 2. When he attacks an opponent's... if the number of rear guards you have is more than your opponent, then he gets an extra 5,000 power and a critical. But yeah, it's Generation Break 2. And his other ability is that when you stride on top of him, you can counterblast 1 and choose one of your opponent's rear guards to retire. So that's pretty cool. He's basically my avatar in this deck. And now getting on to the stride units. First up is 3 Dragon Knight Mohammed. His ability is when his attack hits an opponent's Vanguard, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And then I have 1 Snow Element Blizza. His ability is that you can counterblast 1 and choose a face down card in your G deck, flip it face up, and then he gets an extra 5,000 power for every face up G unit you have in your G zone. So yeah, he's pretty good. I only run 1 of him because, I don't know, I like having Mohammed at this point, but if I did have an extra, I'd probably run it. Not 100% sure though, but yeah, if you play this card right with the other G unit I have in here, this can become a straight up beast. And finally, my final G unit, which is 4 Flame Emperor Dragon King Root Flare Dragon. His ability is that You can choose a copy of him from your G deck, flip it face up, and then if the number of cards in your G zone is 2 or more, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire like all rear guards in the same column as the unit you chose. So like, here's an example. Like, say this is an opponent's row. I mean, I know they wouldn't have like 2 grade 3s in one row unless it's like Aqua Force and you can like switch them. But yeah, you choose that and then that's out. So 2 units at once. And you combine it with Blade Master, you can get rid of 3 units right there. Okay, so that is my Kagerō deck, known as Blade's Inferno, or Blade Inferno. I'm just going to say Blade Inferno. But yeah, this is my Kagerō deck. It's pretty awesome. I love how it can just generate so much power. Like, it's just crazy. So yeah, like, let me know what you guys think about it. Yeah, I was going to run a Calamity Tower Wyvern in here, but I realized I did not have the space for it at all, and I'm trying to find a decent Legion for the deck. I'm not 100% sure like what Legion to put in here, but yeah, for right now, it's pretty good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can become a member of the Wolf Pack today. So thank you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ow!